Welcome to the January 13th meeting of the Harwich Planning Board. My name is Duncan Perry. I'm the chair of the board. This meeting is being held in person, but it's also available on GoToMeeting, the link provided on our website. Is there anybody in the room that wishes to record this meeting? Okay, no, good, very good. So I declare the meeting open at 6:30. I'd like to invite you to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have two public hearings we need to continue before we get to the business of the evening. First of which is case number PB 2025-28. Ann Brensley, owner, authorizes Dan Demento Corporation through its agent Jack Herndon, counsel Senni and Associates PC, seeks special permits for multifamily special permit and site plan review special permit. Proposed project is to develop a condominium building with 6 two-bedroom townhouses, each with a garage and a total of 16 off-street parking spaces. Vehicular access will be via Cork Lane. 1 unit will be dedicated to year-round workforce housing. Project also proposes to demolish and remove 6 existing structures, 2 barns and 4 sheds on the site. The existing single-family dwelling shall remain. The application is pursuant to the Code of the Town of Harwich, Section 325-51Q, 325-51, and 325-55, and Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Sections 9 and 11. Property is located at 64 Smith Street, Assessors Map 19, Parcel B1-0, and is 133,681 square feet with 48,681 square feet of upland. The parcel is in the Residential Rural Estate RR and Zoning District in the FEMA Flood Zone AE. At the request of the applicant, the public hearing is continued to Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. May I have a motion thereto?
So I move that we continue PB 2025-28 to February 10th, 2026, no earlier than 6:30 p.m.
I have a motion. May I have a second? Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Second item is continuation from December 22nd, 2025. Case number PB 2025-33. William G. Glover, the third owner, authorizes J. Thaddeus Eldridge, PLS, East Southeast, LLC, seeks special permits for multifamily special permit and site plan review special permit waivers. The proposed project is to modify a pre-existing non-conforming lot and structure to have a full second floor and construct a similar new structure to be connected and include a storage garage. The building will include 4 one-bedroom apartments with decks, 6 parking spaces, and a second curb cut. The application is pursuant to the Code of the Town of Harwich, Section 325-51Q, 325-51, and 325-55, and Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Sections 9 and 11. Property is located at 33 Old Colony Road, Assessors Map 41, Parcel C4-A, and is 14,450 square feet of upland. Parcel is located in Commercial Village Zoning District CV. At the request of the applicant, the public hearing is continued to Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. Again, may I have a motion there too?
So I move that we continue case number PB 2025-33 to Tuesday, January 27th, 2026, no earlier than 6:30 p.m.
A motion, may I have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I so declare it. Now move to Section 4, Public Meeting, Consideration and Decision, case number PB 2025-11, SSH Port, LLC, Robert C. DeMarco, manager, 1 Campanelli Drive, Braintree, Mass 02184, through their agent, Marion Rose, Esquire, Singer and Singer Law Office, 26 Upper County Road, Dennis, Mass 02639, seeks approval for a multifamily special permit and site plan review special permit with requests for waivers. The proposed project is to construct a 28-unit multifamily structure and reconfigured parking. The application is pursuant to the Code of the Town of Harwich, Sections 325-51, 325-55, and Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Sections 9 and 11. Property is located at 606 Route 28, Assessors Map 14, parcel Z18-2, and the parcel is approximately 76,226 square feet. Parcel is in the Commercial Village CV and Residential Low Density RL zoning districts and within the Village Commercial Overlay District. Ms. Flynn.
Yes, before you, Mr. Chair, is a staff recommendation with potential findings of fact as well as recommended order of conditions for your review. And if you would like to review this, and if someone from the board would like to make a motion, I would recommend that we approve the project with conditions and grant the 4 waivers as requested.
Very good. Open it to the board. And I know you have some comments.
There's
Yes.
no-
Questions?
Are we going to read through, because I just had comments?
Yes, let's,
So I think we have to, I would
Read through?
I would
Yeah.
read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for the record, I did rehabilitate myself from the December 9th meeting and filed the Mullen Rule paperwork with the clerk's office, just for the record, so that it's, nobody has any questions.
Yeah.
I just had 2 questions, if I could, for council. On items 16 and 17 on page 5, I was going to suggest just a clause at the end of each of those sentences that says, which shall be cited as shown on the site plan. It's the dumpster
Yes,
and the generator
that
pad, if
makes
that's
a lot
okay.
of sense.
And then other than that, there were a couple of typos, but it looks like they had been picked up. So I would make a motion that we, planning board, adopt the following findings of fact, if everybody's ready. for me
Well, I
to-
think we have a couple.
Did you have questions?
We have additional comments, I think, from Ann.
Yeah, how do you want to go through the changes?
if you would like to go recommend changes, just item by item of what you, of the items that you had.
Okay, so for the record, I submitted changes I found from this, and then there's an additional one right up front in the findings of fact on page 4 of 13. It looks like 5 and 6 are duplicative.
Redundant, yep. Page 4.
Do you agree?
So Ann, I was going to make a suggestion that 5 stated the project proposes to demolish an existing commercial building and to develop blah, blah.
Okay, and then what would you do with 6, Mary?
I was just looking to see if it has. So I don't think, I think 6 isn't duplicative because it adds the gathering and open space areas. I don't see that in 5, do you?
Nope.
No, but
So I would just leave it as written.
Okay.
you would,
I
okay.
mean, it repeats the first half of the sentence, but,
Okay, all right, on, is that okay then? We're good?
I think so.
Okay, on, it's labeled as, it was labeled as 24,
Page
but it's
6.
about the size of the fence, that's what I'm looking for.
Which 24, the second one, in the conditions?
Page 4.
Is it page 4? Okay.
Do you have a line item, maybe?
I had it as 24, but it may have changed in the revision.
It's page 5, and I think
Okay.
what you're looking for, and line 64.
Line 64?
164, apologies.
164, okay. Oh, so now it's 15, okay.
15A.
15A, so in my notes and on the site plan, there's a section in the back that's 6-foot solid fence, and then there's a new section on the side that's 8-foot solid fence that's new, and then you had taken about, because you had said it was around the entire perimeter, and it's just 6 foot in the back and 8 foot up the driveway?
We can remove that
Okay.
language.
Okay, I had that one.
I'm sorry, Christine, I didn't hear your response.
Gonna remove it.
I say I recommended to make the amendment
Okay.
that Ann had suggested on the height, to
So we-
specify the height of
So
the
can,
fence.
so what's your change, just so that I read it correctly?
Hold on, 64, 1 second.
15A.
On 15A, the landscaping plans include a 6-foot solid fence along the back perimeter of the property, and then probably comma, 8-foot solid fence along the driveway portion.
May I interject?
Okay.
I believe that we would need permission from the building commissioner to do the 8-foot fence along
It's
the
on the
side.
site plan.
Right, and that's the hope and the intention was that we could do an 8-foot fence if allowed by the building commissioner. If we can't, the building commissioner doesn't allow us to do that, it would go down, you can do a 6-foot fence as of right. We wanted to do a higher fence if allowed.
So should we put 8 foot if allowed?
If,
We'll
As
just, why don't we say
permitted.
Or
minimum?
minimum
As
of 6?
permitted.
As
Why don't we say a
permitted.
minimum
right.
of 6 feet?
a minimum 6 feet will be fine either way.
Okay.
So we'll say, so A will read the landscaping plans including a 6-foot solid fence along the back perimeter of the property and a minimum of 6-foot solid fence along the driveway portion for additional screening and noise mitigation.
That's great.
That's good? Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Just in general, and it was a couple places on the septic, when we went down in bedrooms, from 68 to 41, is the same septic system, or is it going to be revised down, or?
Do you want to speak to that? Okay. The location's not going to change.
Yeah, so the septic system components
Yeah.
are the exact same. The leaching field will get slightly smaller due to the reduced flow from the smaller bedroom count.
Do we need anything, since we have so many
Before
documents?
41, This
Yep.
is not a hearing, right? So
Correct.
Right, so
this is not testimony, we're just.
we
doing
should strictly be talking about clarification on
Right.
language.
Right.
Okay, well.
So
this-
it's strictly if the language needs to be changed or if the language is correct.
So are we referring to the right septic plan throughout as the last one, since it shrunk
I
down?
think that's a question for Christine.
Yes, the most recent septic, the most recently approved septic plans per the Board of Health were submitted as part of this plan. And I did talk with the health director, and they don't have, the applicant does not have to go back to the Board of Health for a reduced sized septic system.
Okay.
But we did condition that the project site be limited to 41 bedrooms.
Okay.
And so the decision will also be sent to the health department.
Okay, thank you. Okay. The last one that I have is about the 400 feet area, and it was 33 at one time. Let's see if it still is.
It's either 34 or 36,
Now it's 34 and 36.
I think. Actually, maybe not. It's 21 and 23 on
Okay.
page 9.
21 and 22, which were 33 in the other version, correct?
21 and 23.
21 and 23. Okay. So 21 is the sidewalk, 23 is the use best efforts to remove vegetation. Proposed site driveway for distance, that one of 400 feet. That's a lot. 400 feet in what direction? If you looked at 400 feet and went east, you're at the corner of Freeman and 28.
So, and you had recommended removing that language.
Yes,
so
that's-
we
but
can
I- that's
remove
the
that
I would be
language.
happy to. We are flummoxed in that how we could, we support the idea of cutting that, the hedges and whatever is interfering, but we don't have any control over that, so it's
No.
sort of, to us, a useless condition because we support it, but all we can do is support it because we don't have control over that.
Right, so I don't know how we got to 400 feet, right?
It was recommended by VHP.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
As a recommendation, as a condition, potential condition for your consideration. So I would recommend striking the language.
So we're going to strike the entire condition, or are we going to strike,
The 400 feet.
Why don't we just strike everything after Route 28? Because the purpose is
It's sightline.
sightline. That's discretionary.
And then the applicant's ability to trim is limited by its lack of ownership clarifies
Correct.
that.
Thank you.
I think that can stay in, though.
That can
Right,
stay.
that can stay in,
Right,
but
that
the-
can stay in, but that,
East.
Yep, east
east
through
to
400 feet.
Right.
Okay, stricken.
The other thing is, number 26 is a blank, so we'll, as we speak through it, that'll just get enumerated differently on page 10.
page 10. It's not showing up that way.
On page 10?
It's not changed
Okay,
again.
are we, did I perhaps?
What,
Maybe you
What
picked it up.
clause are you
I
talking
printed
about?
out- maybe I
Something
printed out
with
the
one letter.
wrong, no, I must have printed out an earlier version, okay, my bad.
Okay, those were my,
26, yep, okay.
everything else I think was checked. Anybody else?
No other comments? Harry, Alan, for roll your piece? Great. So,
so I would entertain a motion, I would make a motion that the planning board adopt the following findings of fact. Let's see. That the applicant's agent is Marion Rose, attorney for the applicant and owner SSH Port LLC, Robert C. DeMarco, manager. The subject property is 606 Route 28, Assessors Map 14, parcel Z18-2, 3. The subject property is located in the Commercial Village CV, Village Commercial Overlay District, COVD, in residential low density, RL. The lot is a split zone lot. 4, the application for a multifamily special permit and site plan review special permit was filed with the town clerk on March 25th, 2025. 5, the project proposes to demolish an existing commercial building, 1,862 square feet, and to develop a 28-unit apartment building complex with outside amenities and 53 at-grade parking spaces. The building footprint is 17,587 square feet and is 35,174 square feet. It should be noted that the overall project has gone through multiple revisions. 6, the project is to demolish an existing commercial building and develop a 28-unit apartment building for year-round rentals with 53 at-grade surface parking spaces, common gathering and open space areas. 7, the building shall have a footprint equal to 17,587 square feet, and the building shall total 35,174 square feet. 8, the building's height shall not exceed 29 feet 4 inches and shall be 2 stories. 9, the apartment building shall include 28 apartments, A, 15 one-bedroom apartments, B, 13 two-bedroom apartments, and C, there shall be a total of 41 bedrooms. 10, the applicant has stated their intention to rent the 28 apartment units year-round with some flexibility to rent on a month-to-month basis if needed. 11, the applicant agreed to prohibit short-term rentals as defined by Massachusetts general law, a property rented out for 31 consecutive days or less. 12, there will be no subgrade parking garage or building basement, and there will be no common roof deck. 13, the proposed project provides 53 parking spaces exceeding the 49 spaces required by zoning. The project includes A, 3 handicap spaces, B, 12 electric vehicle parking spaces, and C, 14 tandem parking spaces. Even though zoning does not address tandem parking, 14 tandem parking spaces shall be assigned to 7 two-bedroom apartments. 14, the proposed project does include a loading and service area as required by zoning. 15, the landscaping plans comply with the Conservation Commission's list of native plants and trees. Sub A, the landscaping plans included a 6-foot solid fence along the back perimeter of the property and a minimum of a 6-foot solid fence along the driveway portion for additional screening and noise mitigation. 16, the proposed project does include an enclosed dumpster as required by zoning, which shall be cited as shown on the site plan. 17, the proposed project does include a 10-foot by 10-foot septic system shed and shall include a generator pad for the backup generator as approved by the Board of Health, which shall be cited as shown on the site plan. 18, the proposed project does meet the criteria for multifamily special permit, site plan review special permit, and is consistent with the Commercial Village Overlay District. 19, the proposed project meets the required minimum lot size, frontage, all 3 setbacks, and building height zoning requirements. The project is located in a densely developed Harwich Port Village area with existing commercial, residential single-family homes and residential buildings, as well as mixed-use buildings. 21, the project will provide an economic benefit to the surrounding businesses and additional tax revenue to the town of Harwich. 22, the project septic system design was approved by the Board of Health in Title V regulations. 23, the traffic peer review indicated a significant reduction in traffic volumes during peak summer months from commercial use to residential use. There will be a slight increase in traffic during the winter. 24, the proposed project does meet the criteria for multifamily special permit and site plan review special permit. 25, further, the board finds the following multifamily special permit. A, the building does contain 3 units with adequate entrances and bedroom sizes of 120 square feet per the code of the town of Harwich. B, the project is on town water. C, the project meets the required parking. D, the project meets the required open space. E, the project shall comply with all Title V septic system requirements per the Board of Health approval. 26, in addition, the board finds that relative to site plan review, A, the use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. B, the specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. C, there will be no nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians. D, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. This includes the provision of appropriate sewage treatment facilities which provide for denitrification when the permit granting authority deems such facilities necessary for the protection of drinking water supply wells, ponds, or salt water embayments. And what was that? Okay, give me 1 second. I would like to add in on page 1, number 6, which lists out the design, all the design plans.
Do we read those, or can we stipulate?
I will read them. I just want to make sure we get the,
Full complement.
yeah, so all of those really should be in there, in my own opinion. So we're at what, 20,
Big.
28, is that what I'm at?
26.
27.
See 27.
So 27 would be item 6, SSH Port Residences on Main Street, special permit submission date March 25th, March 2025. A, schematic design set, architectural renderings, landscape floor plans by Campanelli Sheets, A-0, L1-L3, and A1-A7. B, schematic design set, architectural renderings, landscaping floor plans by Campanelli Sheets RP-0 through RP-6, dated March 2025, revised June 10, 2025, and revised November 21, 2025. C, site development plans dated March 25th, 2025, prepared by Kelly Engineering, Brandon Lee, professional civil engineer, number 57736, sheets 1, 3 through 11, dated March 25th, 2025, revised on the following dates: April 30th, 2025, May 30th, 2025, July 30th, 2025, October 23rd, 2025, and November 21st, 2025. Site development plans dated March 25th, 2025, prepared by Kelly Engineering Group, Brandon Lee, Professional Civil Engineer, number 57736, sheets 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11, dated March 25th, 2025, revised on the following dates: April 30th, 2025, May 30th, 2025, July 30th, 2025, October 23rd, 2025, November 21st, 2025, and December 9th, 2025. Site development plans dated March 25th, 2025, prepared by Kelly Engineering Group, Stephen M. Horfall, Professional Land Surveyor, number 41608, sheet 2. Existing condition plans dated March 25th, 2025, and revised on the following dates: April 30th, May 30th, July 30th, October 23rd, and November 21st, 2025. Lighting plans by Ligman Lighting USA, sheets, calculation results, 3D renderings, and 3D false color, dated March 25th, 2025, revised on June 4th, June 20th, November 20th, November 21st, 2025. Preliminary septic plans not stamped, dated prepared by BCS Group, sheets S1.0, S1.1, and S1.2, dated March 20th, 25, revised July 24th and August 22nd, and approved by the Board of Health. Point-by-point illumination calculations dated March 2025, prepared by Alex Lighting Solutions, sheets 1 of 1. Traffic assessment dated March 20th, 2025, prepared by Chapel Engineering Associates, LLC, by Kristen Braun, Civil Engineering, Civic Engineer number 54874. Let's see. Stormwater Management Report dated March 25th, 2025, prepared by Kelly Engineering Group, by Brandon Lee, Civil Engineer, 57736. Revised May 30th, July 30th, and December 9th, 2025. And the Stormwater Management System Operation and Maintenance Plan and Long-Term Pollution Prevention Plan, prepared by Kelly Engineering Group, Inc., revised December 9, 2025. Christine, are there any other ones in there that you want the trip generation reports and those things in as well?
That's fine as a fact.
I think that that's at your discretion. I think we've covered all of the
Okay.
findings of fact in the plans.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the application, I just want to point out the application included a butters notifications, an application fee, and the public correspondence. So I think that's everything from me.
So we have a motion. Can I have a second? Second. We have a second from Mr. Peterson. Any further discussion, questions, comments from the board? Let's have a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I so declare.
And then, find the waivers. Thank you. There it is. So I would move that the planning board vote to grant the following waivers relative to the application. 1, to the extent necessary, a waiver from the driveway separation requirement under section 325-42H, minimum street, driveway, and side lot distances. 2, a waiver of driveway width minimum from 24 feet to 22 feet under section 325-42K. 3, a waiver for parking space size under design requirements, section 325-42K, space with width for spaces to 9 feet by 18 feet, proposed from 9 feet by 20 feet, and for the allowance of a 2-foot overhang strip on each space. And 4, the requirement for landscape islands for parking areas over 20 spaces under section 325-43C.
Motion, may I have a second? Second. Seconded by Mr. Peterson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
And then I would move that we vote to approve with conditions the case number PB 2025-11, Marion Rose, attorney, on behalf of SSH Port LLC, Robert DeMarco, manager, 606 Route 28, for a multifamily special permit and a site plan review special permit pursuant to 325-51Q and 325-55 of the Code of the Town of Harwich, a change of use approval of Assessor's Map 14, parcel Z18-2 in the Commercial Village Commercial Overlay District and Residential Low Density Zoning District. The lot is a split zone lot. After 6 public hearings and well-attended meetings, in November, the project has changed significantly from a condominium home ownership project to a year-round fair market rental apartment building. The architectural design, the architectural design of the building included a reduction in height from 3 to 2 stories, a story building at 29 feet 4 inches, a reduction in building footprint to 17,587 square feet, and the building's total square footage to 35,174 square feet. There was also a reduction in the total number of bedrooms to 41, thus minimizing impacts of groundwater and nitrogen, in minimizing impacts to groundwater and nitrogen to the impaired Witchmere Harbor watershed. The architectural design reflected many features of historic single-family homes to blend in with the character of surrounding neighborhood and to soften the building's massing. The decision is based on the following findings of fact and conditions of approval. The applicant agent is Marion Rose, attorney for the applicant, owner SSH Port LLC, Robert C. DeMarco, manager. 2, the subject property is 606 Route 28, Assessor's Map 14, parcel Z18-2. 3, the subject property is located in the Commercial Village Commercial Overlay District and Residential Low Density District. The lot is a split zone lot. 4, the application is for a multifamily special permit and site plan review special permit, which was filed with the town clerk on March 25th, 2025. The applicant has stated their intention to rent the 28 apartment units year-round with some flexibility to rent on a month-to-month basis if needed. 6, the applicant agreed to prohibit short-term rentals as defined by Mass General Law, a property rented out for 31 consecutive days or less. 7, there will be no subgrade parking garage or building basement, and there will be no common roof deck. 8, the project septic system design was approved by the Board of Health. The project site shall not exceed 41 bedrooms. The proposed project provides 53 parking spaces exceeding the 49 spaces required by zoning. Even though zoning does not address tandem parking, 14 tandem parking spaces shall be assigned to 7 two-bedroom apartments. 10, deliveries and trash pickup shall not take place earlier than 7 a.m. and no later than 8 p.m. weekdays and weekends. 11, the applicant shall adhere to all noise codes within the town of Harwich, particularly section 182-1. 12, all exterior lighting shall be dark sky compliant and downward shielded as required by zoning and noted on the lighting plans. 13, the applicant agrees to replace existing trees shown on the site plan should they die within 2 years of construction. 14, applicant agrees to install a stop sign at the end of the driveway prior to entering Route 28. 15, the applicant agrees that all parking will be contained on site. 16, the applicant agrees not to allow tenants to sublet without prior management approval. 17, the applicant agrees to use best efforts to coordinate with the owners of 616 Route 28 regarding maintenance of the existing hedges. 18, as shown in the revised drawing set dated 11/21/2025, the applicant shall construct the exterior facade using materials intended to simulate traditional New England siding and mimic the siding built in the neighborhood. The design includes a combination of 3 fundamental materials, including clapboards, boards and battens, and shingles accentuated with flat trim details incorporated throughout. 19, the project is on town water and the project shall install a fire hydrant as noted on the site plan. 20, the traffic peer review found the site distance measurements to be accurate and the SSD requirements were met. To mitigate the ISD measurements, it is recommended that vegetation be trimmed back or removed from the site distance triangle. The applicant has agreed to improve and maintain the area within the site distance triangle on the applicant's property. 21, subject to MassDOT's approval of a sidewalk as shown on the submitted plans, which will be considered as part of the applicant's curb cut permit request to the Mass DOT. The applicant agrees to construct a sidewalk, agrees to the construction of a sidewalk and assumes the responsibility for the cost of its construction. The applicant has no authority to construct the sidewalk as shown on the submitted plans, absent MassDOT approval. 22, the applicant must receive an access permit from Mass DOT for the driveway curb cut. The sidewalk installation should be part of the applicant's access permit application from MassDOT. Sub A, the applicant shall provide updates to the Town Planning Department and DPW Department related to the sidewalk installation. 23, the applicant shall coordinate with MassDOT and use best efforts to trim back or remove vegetation within the public right-of-way along the north side of Route 28. The applicant's ability to trim or remove vegetation in this area is limited by its lack of ownership or control over the public right-of-way. 24, the applicant shall secure a stormwater permit from the Select Board prior to the issuance of a building permit. 25, the proposed multifamily special permit and site plan special permit shall be in accordance with the site plan referenced in the application materials listed above. 26, this decision shall run with the property. Conditions of approval shall be binding on future owners. 27, the special permit shall not take effect until a copy of the decision bearing the certification of the town clerk that 20 days have elapsed after the filing of the decision, and either that no appeal has been filed or that an appeal has been filed within such time period, is recorded in the Registry of Deeds and is indexed under the name of the property owner of record and the parcel address. 28, this special permit shall lapse within 2 years, which shall not include such time required to pursue or await a determination of an appeal referred to in General Law, Chapter 48, Section 17, from the grant thereof, if a substantial use thereof has not sooner commenced except for good cause, or in the case of a permit for construction, if construction has not begun by such date except for good cause. 29, changes to the site not authorized under this decision will require further planning board review and modification to this decision, and the applicant shall conform to the inspection, certification, and as-built plan requirements outlined pursuant to the code of the town of Harwich.
Have a motion and a second. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry you had to listen to me.
We're going to need some tea and Heights in here. Very good. We move on this evening to the second item of business, which is an item continued from Tuesday, December 2nd, case number PB 2025-34, Dennis Miller, owner, applicant, Main Street HB LLC, seeks a modification to of an approved site plan review special permit and mixed-use special permits, PB 2022-15 decision. Proposal is to modify and extend hours of operation for one of the businesses. Project is in the Commercial Village Zoning District and Village Commercial Overlay District. The request is pursuant to the Code of the Town of Harwich, Sections 32551, 32555, and Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Sections 9 and 11. Subject property is 575 Route 28, Assessors Map 14, Parcel V15. Good evening, Mr. Miller. How are you doing tonight?
Doing well, how are you?
Good. So I, just for the record, I rehabilitated myself also. I was absent at a family event on the 2nd, so up to speed. Delighted to see you back here, and how can we help you?
Delighted to be here. So as a follow-up to that meeting that you just referenced, we are asking, we have business owners here, Harwich family, Harwich business owners who are looking to open a homemade ice cream sandwich shop. Just coincidentally, tonight's the night.
For an ice cream night.
Prove the other one, ironically. And I have 850 square feet in the development. It's a new development going on Route 28, which you all approved a few years ago. And it has a 4 o'clock restriction that was associated with parking at the time. It's categorized as fast food, which I've been educated that, in fact, an ice cream sandwich shop is considered a fast food. So, and the concern was the parking at that, to have a restaurant next to it, which there is a restaurant going in next to it, and having this and the activity it'll create and the parking issues it would create. So I was given some parking relief as part of the original. And the thought at the time was that I would put in a breakfast lunch place. I really thought I could accomplish that. I cannot accomplish that. I cannot get a breakfast place. You can't get anyone anywhere, but I cannot get anyone who is willing to do that with that, to begin with, and with that restriction in place, I can't get any tenants in the building. So I have what I think is the best use for the town, for the village, for the community, for Harwich, which is this business, this particular family, and these couples who also own the general store in one of my buildings in town. So I'm asking for the lifting of the restriction to allow this business to be able to operate. We already have approval to operate on the Music in the Port night, which is the busiest night of the summer already. I'm asking if they can have the restriction lifted so they can operate the other nights of the week till 7, 8 o'clock, whatever time they'll stay open till 9 o'clock, maybe even a Saturday night. No liquor license, no outdoor music, there's no table service. It's a family-oriented, family business run by a Harwich family, owned by a Harwich guy, family. So I sent a letter on November 25th advocating for my position. The other side of that argument with me, the kind of the emotional side of it, is that I do provide parking in the town. I'm going to continue to, I will have more parking than a municipal lot will have with this development. And the other businesses who don't have parking use my parking lot. But ironically, I'm the only one with a space that has a restriction on it, and they don't. I know there's a lot of reasons. I'm not looking to change history here. But this is the right thing for the town. It's the right thing for Harwich Port. It's the right thing, period. And I'm just advocating for that change of the restriction. And I'm happy to answer any questions, respond to anything.
Sure. Caleb, can you load up the PowerPoint, please?
Wow.
Thank you.
Easy.
So I have a quick PowerPoint. This is Harwich. This is the downtown of Harwich Port, and in the red dot is the subject property, and a little bit closer is the subject property with the red dot, 575 Main Street, just to give you a better idea. And as part of the project, the required parking for all 4 uses included 73 parking spots. The applicant was able to provide, was able to provide 53 parking spots on the 3 adjoining lots, 575 Main Street, 571, and 569. And of the uses, I understand as part of the the conditions, the town granted a waiver on the condition that the fast food takeout restaurant and the restaurant would be conditioned to limit the hours of operation. And that limitation was specifically that the fast food restaurant would have to close at 4 p.m. in the evening. And at our last public hearing, at our last public meeting, I was asked to talk with our traffic engineering consultants, who, by the way, it should be noted, were hired by the applicant to do the traffic impact study. And their findings for traffic impacts, this is the setup of the building with the 4 uses for retail, fast food takeout, and the restaurant, or 2 retail spaces, rather. And so for commercial spaces, this is just the breakdown of what's required. So for the entire project, the town requires 73 parking spots. And the applicant, again, was able to provide 53 parking spots. Whoops, I keep on hitting the wrong button. So anyway,
Number 20, sure.
it was then, Caleb, you can turn the lights on. So the question before the board is that VHB did encourage that for a fast food takeout of 850 square feet, 6 parking spaces, if they were restricted, to be designated on-site and restricted with time intervals of 15 to 30 minutes. That would help with some of the turnover for parking as part mitigation. But for the board's consideration, is that still to grant a waiver minus the 21 parking spots? Is that reasonable? And given the fact that the applicant does own other parcels and does allow other parking, it's a question of determination for the board. And I understand, I want to be very respectul of the board's time in their decision from PB case 202215. And so in terms of lifting the waiver, I would recommend lifting the waiver on the condition that the applicant also work with the tenants to encourage their employees to park off-site, and that the applicant come back and report to the planning board to provide an update relative to the designated parking spots
With the time,
On site.
with the time
With the
restriction.
time?
with the time restriction, yes.
That sounds extremely reasonable to me. I don't know. We spent a lot of time on
A lot
this.
of time on it.
So we did, and my concern was really the turnover of those parking spaces, because without the time limit, the customers aren't gonna be able to come in and do a quick pickup. So I'm fine with removing the 4 PM timeframe. Made sense with what you were proposing then. It doesn't make sense with this business. Are you okay with 6 parking spaces?
I'm certainly
time
willing to
limit?
do it. There's not an argument against
Yep.
it. I just want to make the statement because I live literally and figuratively in that village. So many people park and then go here, and then they go there, then they go there, then they go there, and then they go there. So you might have people who want to buy an ice cream sandwich and then walk and go down to the general store or go to Bowie's on Main or go to, you know what I mean? So if they have to move their car and then park somewhere else to go do that, it's the realities of the village, if you will. Again, if that's what it takes to do it, I'm happy to do it. I'm not against it, and I get the logic of it. Except for, in this case, it's people park, and you kind of want them to spend a couple hours floating around. So it's a give and get, but if that's what it takes to get it, I am happy to do it, willing to do it. I'm willing to do anything. I couldn't be more flexible when it comes to these kind of things.
Do you have an idea of what parking spaces you would designate?
I would do them the ones, right in front of, close to the door.
So I'm happy to listen to my colleagues and see what you think. I mean,
I just have a question. When we did this, so it's 4 years ago, we're all getting refreshed. We adjusted the 20 space drop based on you owned everything else in the area, correct? And we did the employee parking. Didn't we move that?
I think we included the fact that he owned
Multiple spaces.
adjacent parcels.
Yeah, not the
So we
other
didn't
buildings.
Right, so we didn't have to,
Adjacent parcels.
It was just the adjacent, which are incorporated, 569 and 571. I agreed to take over 569, which was a
Right.
developable lot, and turn it into a parking lot, which
Right.
I did, and then take half of, a section of 571 and dig up the ground, which we're doing actually next week,
Yep.
and create parking along there, as well as all the parking I created on 575.
and with doing that, that's how you got to
That's how we got to
50, the 50 whatever, as opposed to the 70.
And
So-
what we're referring to is I also own the Mad Meadow Three Monkeys
Right.
parking lot, I own the park, so that's the other
Just kinda
parking, which is
like-
not factored into this.
Right, we kind of did that almost monopoly swap, right,
So if,
for
So-
that 20.
So I don't know that we did a monopoly swap. We permitted him
Permitted
to
it
use
based on.
adjacent parcels.
Yeah, that was it.
But we didn't take we didn't take into consideration any of the other parcels because we really couldn't.
Couldn't.
Right.
And it's slightly too far away to count
all
a
the way to
municipal
the-
lot.
yeah.
So like,
Which I love.
right, so, but I think your original, the Cape Roots building, I think might be close enough to a lot that you could have, might be close.
Well, my Mad Minnow building.
Your Mad Minnow was right next to a lot.
I actually
Right, so you
have the
could-
driveway open so they can overflow literally to
Oh, that's
Right.
right.
to allow them to park in my lot, which, it's,
And if you were
my
short,
tenant's a little crazy about that sometimes. Well, why, I said, this is the way it works around here, don't worry.
and if you were short, you would be able to use the municipal lot for calculations to get you to a larger number.
Yeah, if I took the
just-
employees out of my lot here
Yeah.
and had them park over there, then I would have enough space. The lot, number of spaces incorporates the X amount of employees per square foot for retail or per, so that, and that's all housed on that lot. And that, from that, we deducted enough, I got the relief from the board.
And can you refresh my memory? Isn't there an employee, a Harwich Port employee lot behind, don't they work with the banks to have a?
Behind
for
TD
some of the
Bank, there's a
employees?
lot there that gets overrun with the restaurants. Because you have 3 restaurants there,
Right.
none of which essentially are parking. Believe me, I know.
Right,
So they take that up. So there's no room for any of my stuff to
Mm-hmm.
go there, and then, everyone comes to me.
yeah.
Which is fine. It's fine. It's a village, and, at some point, and I don't want to go there, but we should really look at the whole 500 yards and say, this should be communal, not, I said it last time, but I sometimes feel like I'm the only villager in the village when it comes to some of these things. But
Well, and I
Sometimes you
also think that there's one factor that we aren't discussing explicitly, and that's a lot of the activity here is going to be about foot traffic.
Right.
And so I would imagine, everybody who's interested in getting an ice cream is not going to be driving a vehicle. So,
Right.
and especially peak season, I personally am all for the recommended,
Six spots?
well, as
To look the
stipulated,
condition?
the conditions recommended, I think they make a lot of sense. Especially if the applicant's game, so.
All right, 2 points of clarification. The employee parking is still going to be in that adjacent spot, correct?
What we're saying is we will encourage the employees to park off-site. But it's because they'll end up either in the municipal lot
Okay,
or one of my other lots anyway. So
so it's a little,
it kind of doesn't matter. I mean, in the peak nights, there's going to be no parking anywhere in the village. It's kind of, that's the reality. So what I think, I'm certainly willing to agree to a lot of things, but I'm willing to agree to put designate 6 spots with signage directly, as directly as I can. I don't want to say it's, but at least partially in front of the back door where the parking lot is for this business with a, I don't know, it's 30 minutes just in case it's crowded, time limit. I know they said 15 to 30, but a time limited. But I don't want to do is don't want to have to enforce it, like with towing or anything, because I don't allow any of my tenants, it's in the leases, they can't tow from any of my lots, because otherwise we'd have a gong show going on.
So if we put a condition, if we agreed to remove the condition that the business closes at 4 PM, and then add a condition that you would encourage employees to park on,
Yes.
at an off-site location, and then also put a condition that you would designate 6 parking spots at 575 Main Street with signage for short-term parking, not to exceed 30 minutes.
it takes
Yes.
15 minutes to get a stroller out of a car, so 30.
And
Does that make sense?
I think that makes sense.
And does that make sense to
Yep.
to
And
you?
remember too, we had formerly a ice cream spot there in the Modern Theater building for a number of years with 0 parking, right?
And then, just one other question from 4 years ago, since we spent a lot of time on the exits and entrance and the curb cuts and the truck turnarounds and everything else. Now that we have a new building at Bank in Maine,
Yes.
is there going to be access across in the
There is
back?
not, right now, not in their plan, not in our plan. There's been conversation with the family,
Okay,
who we all know, and they're willing to talk about anything. I said, so when we get to that point, when we're getting ready to, which will be in the end of March probably, when we're getting ready to, we'll talk about the potential to link the two so that we could
require an easement or something, correct, or not? Maybe not?
or it can be agreement between two owners.
Okay. Because we spent all that time on, ins, outs, and
Right,
whatever else.
but what I'm doing now, what we approved, and,
Right.
with the fire department, police department, et cetera, is Eversource just put in the 2 poles today, yesterday. We are gonna widen the drive, we're gonna eliminate one of the telephone poles. And this is a lot of fun, trust me. And we're widening the driveway to, 28 feet to allow two-way access and emergency vehicles to make the swing. It's all,
Do you remember what it was before, Dennis?
what it is, it's currently about 18 feet, I wanna say, wide,
We
or,
were really tight, right, at that point?
it'd be tight for two-way traffic, yes.
Now we're going to get two-way
It's
traffic.
going to be wide, it's going to be wide open with the swing. It's all per, what we approved, and there was a lot of studies done on what to be done. It was approved by everyone involved. So that is all happening over the next couple of weeks. We got the approvals from Mass DOT to widen it. We got Eversource just put the new poles in, the old pole out, going to put in a new transformer. So fortunately, Eversource is fairly friendly around town, so.
And there's nothing that had to be changed there's nothing else that had to be changed on the original,
Building
Site plan approval.
exactly.
Okay.
The rest of that building is the stone, every detail, where the clapboard goes, where the shingles go,
I just want to make
everything.
sure if there was something else
For
that
the
you needed
plan.
to address that
No,
we
thank you.
kind of do it all at
Appreciate that.
once.
It's kind of like why it's open, while the permit's open.
Yeah, so it doesn't require the access out the back onto Bank Street. This was in lieu of
Right,
doing
in
that,
lieu
because
of.
the time Heather's Airport was there, and she was not willing to give me
Right.
the access at the time, and the town made the decision, thankfully, to say, okay, well, if you widen that and everyone's happy with that, then that's your solution down the road. So now that the other family owns it, we will have that conversation.
Okay, I mean, we have the mixed blessing of a problem of traffic in Harwich Port, right? The people are coming and we're going to be crowded and,
Oh, yeah.
It's a good problem to have.
yeah.
I have proposed
I'm gonna
many
have.
solutions to the town about that. I have some good solutions. I know that's not the purview here, but,
All right, those are my questions.
yeah.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Harry?
I would just say that, yeah, I think the best thing we could do is remove those restrictions, and point out that this board has had discussion before about making Route 28 in West Harwich walkable, and I was there yesterday, and I'm scratching myself thinking, how on earth is that gonna happen? We have a part of the town that is walkable, that does have, a number of different businesses and attractions in one place. The more we can do as a board to support that, I think the less we have to invent in another part of town.
Great. Alan?
Great point.
Anything, Emily?
Nope, I'm
Nope.
very supportive of where we landed.
Andy? Terrific. So do we have to close no, this is just
Do we have
simply a
to-
continuation. We don't have to close the hearing.
We do have we have to close a public hearing because it's a, but question before we do, Christine, do you know what number the 4 o'clock restriction was in that original?
It's condition 9.
It was, thank you.
There we go.
Was that the sole condition?
No, I'm sorry?
Was that the sole condition on 9, just to strike
Correct.
condition 9 from the,
Strike condition 9 and add the 6 restricted parking with time interval, and also to encourage employees
Yep.
to park off-site.
okay,
Before we close the hearing. just
The public.
Thank you.
Probably.
Barbara Nicholson, Harwich Port. So a couple things on all the above. I too was here 4 years ago with all the parking situations since I live down the street. I might offer a suggestion that if you're gonna talk about 6 spots right now, maybe if you could monitor that to see if it's really 6 spots that you need to have the time on it. So maybe you could go down
Maybe
to
less,
4
yeah.
next year or something like that, instead, if you don't have 6 all the time busy with for the
Right.
business, you might as well ask if you could go down to 4 so you could get 2 more spaces for regular parking instead of leaving 6 if they're gonna be open and stuff. You know, one of the concerns we have is the fact that a lot of people end up parking on the side streets, even though there are no parking signs and stuff. And I know what you do with your parking lots is great and everything. Just lost my train of thought right
No,
there.
no.
Dang it.
Do you want more signs, Barbara, or?
No,
So I guess my question would be,
Sidewalk parking on the side street spot.
yeah,
Monitor the on-site parking.
how,
We're
how did
helping
they
you,
come
Mark.
up with the 6? Was that based on just the fact that it's a
Food?
takeout restaurant, or?
It was based on the Institute Transportation of Engineering, and I think I have that right. I
Is it
could
a
be wrong.
recommendation?
It's the ITE, and it was based on the use of fast food takeout and the size of the
The square footage?
square
Square
footage.
footage.
So that was based on 800.
So it could be a Burger King, you know, type of.
Right, right.
Versus
No,
the-
understood, understood.
Is it a recommendation or requirement?
It was a recommendation, 4 to 6 parking spots. I felt in this,
4 to
given
6.
this area, there's such a high volume, you know, particularly with the Sunday school leaving, that
Right.
at least 6 would be appropriate.
Mrs. Nickerson.
Yeah.
sorry. Last thing was that, no, maybe perhaps instead of encouraging your employees, you just tell them to park off-site. That might be a little bit easier so you don't have any issues in the parking lot since you do have a small space back there. So anyhow, look forward to it.
Thank
It was
you.
looking good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just a
Anybody
po-
else
ju-
in the public who would like to comment?
Just a point of clarification then? The 6 was a recommendation.
By ITE,
Is 4
Yeah.
better?
One thing you don't, you know, it's the yin and the yang of this
Yeah.
whole thing, because what we don't want to do is have 6 spots sitting there open when people are parking on the side streets. You know,
Exactly.
so and that's what, you know, the net beauty of having people know these lots, and why I let other businesses park there, because otherwise they are going to be forced to go onto the side street, and that creates a problem for the whole community, so.
You also don't want 2 spaces that are always full, and then your business isn't getting enough traffic for,
Right.
I mean,
for
let
road
me ask
traffic
you
either,
guys.
so.
What do you think is the right number of short-term spots? Do you think 6, more, less, 6, 4?
I kind of agree with it, Barbara. Start with 6 and readdress it next year. If 6 is too many, take a look at it in 12 months and maybe 4 is better than 6.
Do we
I
have to,
think that's a great starting point.
Sounds good to
do
me.
we have to do something in the conditions for that to happen?
They'd have to, you'd have to come all
They'd
the way
have to come back.
They'd
All
have
the
to
way
go through the
back.
entire process to just make that change.
Which
I
we
know,
don't want you to have.
there's- Yeah, yes, okay, we'll
So
figure-
is there a way we
cross
can-
that bridge, I guess.
You're comfortable
Or
with
can we
that?
write it differently so they don't have to come back?
you could write it to condition that they would have to provide a report to the planning department. Submit a report or observations to the planning department.
That's a good point,
That's
yeah.
great.
At the end of the first season. You know, I don't know if they're planning on being open year-round, but at least during the after one peak season, to see what the.
That's the other thing, I'm sorry, is I'm thinking about, so let's say they close at 7 at night, and the restaurant's open. We want the restaurant to be able to use those spots. I can work that out internally. Maybe I shouldn't say
Right.
that out loud, but I can work that out internally. So you know, we want them to be used by the restaurant when they're not open, because the
So we can
restaurant's certainly
condition
going to
that
be
by
open
just
later than
saying
they're open.
the short-term 30-minute parking for, well, that, if you want to name the ice cream business is
Yeah, and they
open.
may close at 8 every night, and I'll say, you know, before 8 PM or something.
Or you could have it, I mean, I'd almost say you could make it 8 spaces so that your other restaurant had takeout spaces for people to do curbside pickup. I don't know if that's part of their business or not.
Yeah, that part I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
What goes
if
with the
we'll get
others?
lucky enough that if 50% of the people even pay attention to the signs, we're
Right, I
ahead
know.
of the game,
I
believe
know.
me.
We're trying, though.
So if we
Right, so
write-
I think writing it up as you guys just described with with the 6th, with the
With the
right to
report.
change, with a letter to the planning board to,
So you don't have to come back.
right. Not as much as I enjoy it.
Well, we know you do enjoy spending
I
time.
do, actually, I love all this stuff, believe me. I'm not normal.
So do we have consensus here?
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm just not sure council's gonna agree that you wouldn't have to come back for a change on the condition, but we can try it that way and
If that changes, they do
see.
have to come back for a condition. If we put 6, that's
Right.
the condition.
If we put 6,
Or
you're
could say
gonna have
up
to,
2.
but if the blessing is that if you get a report at the end of the season, that means it's gonna be flagged for everybody in September. You're not gonna be doing it in February when you're trying to reopen for the season in March or something, for school vacation.
Yeah.
I just don't think.
So do we
I promise you, I can figure it out, so just,
Okay, good.
if I,
It's such a fluid thing.
right, it is
Let's
very
just-
fluid.
Let's just see how it goes with, and, get to next year and see where we stand, so that's
If you want to come back and spend time with this, Dennis,
right. Always an open invitation.
Thank you.
So are we
4 or
ready to
6?
close the public hearing?
Yes.
So I'd make a motion to close the public hearing.
We have
Second.
a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. The opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
So I would make a motion that relative to the original planning board special permit decision of PB 2022-15, that through this decision tonight, we strike condition 9 from that original decision, and then we add the following conditions, that 1, the applicant encourage employees to park off-site whenever possible. And that 2, that the applicant designate 6 spots at 575 Route 28 with signage for short-term parking up to 30 minutes while the restaurants are open. While the restaurants are open for business. Does that make sense?
While that restaurant, yeah, that while the, I don't know,
While the,
while the fast food,
while the fast food,
that's, the other one's considered a full-service
while
restaurant.
the fast food takeout
Yeah, perfect.
restaurant
Is open.
I can definitely work with all that.
is open for business. All right, so designate 6 spots at 575 Route 28 with signage for short-term parking up to 30 minutes while the fast food takeout restaurant is open for business.
Perfect. I mean, I'm good with that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, that's so declared.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr.
Good luck.
Appreciate
One
it.
quick question for you. What was the
Yeah.
name of the restaurant that was coming in again? I slipped my mind.
He hasn't put a name, it's going to be possibly Three Harbors, but it's the owner Milano's
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, good. I
Okay.
read that in the
Yep,
paper,
yeah.
actually, now that you say that.
is opening a restaurant. It's going to be a seafood restaurant, yeah.
Great.
Nice.
We'll all be there for ice cream and cookies.
Ice
There we
cream,
go.
seafood, we have clothing store going in there. I have another one that I'm almost done with at the last retail space, so it's exciting. I'm excited what the difference this is going to make. It extends the town down with the bank and Main next to it there now, that whole side of town
When are you
becomes
expecting to
active.
have an occupancy permit?
Always my dream.
When would you hope to have an occupancy permit?
April.
Good,
Great, awesome.
good.
We
Time for
will
school
be up and
vacation.
running. We'll be up and running in May, everybody.
Is this the ice cream, same operation, I'm sorry to ask, just personally, that is in Chatham? Did I hear you say too?
No.
No, okay.
No, this is a brand new business.
Brand new concept.
Yep.
Okay, even better. Great.
Even better.
Harwich-based restaurant, family, Harwich ice cream. The retailer's a Harwich, and then the last piece is gonna be a Harwich, I think, if I get, is gonna be a Harwich business. So it's kind of fun.
Couldn't
But I
be
love
better.
Good
4
luck.
years,
Right.
4 years.
That's great.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Thanks,
Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Good luck.
Have a good evening. That ends the open part of this evening. We also have some updates to discuss.
Yes.
After
Thank you.
20.
So tomorrow, we are having our first meeting of a zoning work group, and it's largely, this has been in discussion for over the last year, and as we're wrapping up with the local comprehensive plan, zoning was identified as, I think in several of the comprehensive plans, has been identified as an issue that, always needs updating and should be revisited. And I've talked with other colleagues, and many towns have zoning task force appointed. And so I talked with administration, and we thought it would be good to have just a working group, start small, involve the regulatory boards for Board of Health, Conservation, Zoning Board of Appeals, as well as planning. And when I talked with staff and department heads, they were very much in support of creating such a working group to meet informally, to talk, and to begin to prioritize some zoning initiatives. And for example, I know for this year, for 2026, my primary goals were to revise the ADU the accessory dwelling unit bylaw, the multifamily bylaw, as well as the two-family bylaw, in addition to some additional tweaks for the definition of site coverage, and as well as the setbacks for a shed. And so those are there are several, just some low-hanging fruit items that we thought would be a good start. And creating the work group, I know just with all of the projects that we've had, I am bumping up against some deadlines for town meeting. I did want to get this started. It was my intention to have started it last fall, and so that's why I sort of pulled the trigger last week. And so I do apologize for the short notice. It would be great to have one member, representative of the planning board, and maybe one alternate as well. And so that's my update for the zoning working group. I didn't know if anyone, I understand that there were several members of the planning board that might have some interest in serving, so.
So I just had a question. I'm all in favor of a working group. I think our zoning needs to be cleaned up. I mean, and I think that's the nature of any living document. When you're making changes, sometimes you don't pick up the discrepancies that appear in section 27 when you're updating section 92. That being said, I'm not sure what, Duncan, I'm not sure what prompted your appearance at the select board with your proposal, because the newspaper article read like it was coming from the planning board, and I don't know if that was the bad newspaper or if I missed something, because.
No, what I was talking about was a vision document.
Okay.
A missing component, and I talk about some planning issues and also architecture and preservation, and they all kind of fit together. But
So I get that.
a vision initiative.
It came across like it was coming from the planning board, and that was a little
Right.
off-putting from my perspective, only because we try to hold everybody else's feet to the fire when, you're speaking for the board or you're speaking individually. So I didn't know if it came out of the talk about a working group or where it came from. Because I understand what you're saying and what your vision is as well as being different. I don't know right now whether I would want to support a wholesale change in our zoning, because again, zoning builds upon zoning. So I think, while I think there are changes to be made, I don't know how broad we should strike.
What I was simply advocating was that, given the context of what we're seeing in development activity in other towns on the Cape and also throughout the Commonwealth, there's a certain vulnerability that municipalities have that they can't protect, like a town character, given a use-based code. And that all I'm saying is that there are certain corridors that we got to consider form-based code for, because then we can lock in the kind of experiential factors that the town wants. And the town, we hear this all the time about a vision. I mean, we've heard it like 4 or 5 times in, just in Sunday school alone, that, so all I'm saying is that this was like a 4-year project for me to do like the background reading and to offer some, thoughts to the public. And it's a public document. I've just, made it available, and I've printed up a couple hundred copies, and
So I understand that. I just think it's difficult when it's coming,
Correct.
when it's coming from the chair of the planning board to the select board, and it appeared that the select board treated it almost like it was coming from the planning board.
when I present to them, I think, I don't know if I said it explicitly, but when I present to them, normally, hasn't been done since the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
It's been a written document
Yeah.
for the last 4 years or 5 years or 6
Yeah.
years now. And so I said, normally, whenever I'm here, I'm talking about preservation and history. I'm
Well,
not-
it's a whole,
Right,
form-based code versus use code, a whole different, whole
right.
much, that rises to to me, that rises to the level of a comprehensive plan. That is such a large change
Well, but
that you're
that-
talking about,
I'm talking about not an overall rehash, redoing. I'm talking about doing a study to understand, and what I asked for is that if they would consider whether or not we as a body, or the town as a body, ought to invest in doing that kind of research about what are the implications of this kind of a vision change. Like, how can the, firms that do this, they have vision processes, and how could we benefit from that?
right, but that's the whole vision process that you do during a comprehensive plan.
Correct.
But they're also, as part, if I
Yeah.
might, as part of the local comprehensive plan, one of the key aspects of the plan was really to respect historic and community character
Right.
and the character of each of the villages. And I think to Duncan's point, this could be a good opportunity to implement one of the recommendations, which is really to study the uniqueness of each village and to really, to try and address what we really love, or
Get more
preserve what we
granular.
really love about Harwich. But I agree
So,
with,
I appreciate that comment. To me, that's not the same thing as doing a wholesale change for a form versus use. Right, so, and that's what kind
I've
of took me
observed-
off guard.
yeah, and I've observed other communities, and that's years in the making.
Correct.
And that's not a light undertaking,
Right.
and so I want to be very clear, that's not what the zoning work group is
Right.
considering, although it could be something that may come out of that may come out of our findings, because oftentimes when we talk with staff, there are many inconsistencies with Mass General Law there are many instances that we can clean up, and sometimes it might be more streamlined to hire someone, an outside consultant, to assist with that work. And so that could be another option as well, so.
Just a comment, is it possible? So I think there are two separate things we're talking about, right? So I think Duncan clarified where he was going, and that's a big project. The second project, right, is what you're describing as the working group.
The work.
And that was my question. I didn't know if it was all interrelated or not, and that was the reason for my question.
So can I make comments on the working group
Sure.
idea? So we've had that on our agenda a couple times and never kind of gotten to it, right? I understand what you're trying to do. When I first read it, when it came through as an attachment, my reaction to it was all town-based, and we've just had an entire year of the public coming and finding out that the rules and the bylaws didn't match what they thought of as the town. So my concern is, what is this working group going to do? Is it formal? Is it public?
It's advisory to the planning board was the intention, as I mentioned in my
Then are
memo.
those public meetings or not?
They're not subject to the open meeting law. Anyone can come, but it's a working group, so it's
So
not
why
going to
wouldn't they be
videotaped
subject?
or-
If they're advisory to the planning board, we're advisory to the select board.
Right.
As council, I would just double check, because that,
It's not appointed, I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Okay.
It's not appointed, so it was just an internal invitation to start, to be a working group.
because
Okay,
if it's
so
staff, it's one thing. If it's not staff, it's something else.
Okay.
So to that point, the multifamily, the two-family, and the site coverage are big kind of points of contention that we've gone through, right? So that we're going to get staff feedback. When do you get public feedback?
During the planning board's public hearing process. when-
How do we, we've had hundreds of people at our meetings, when it's usually, us and, 2 people who have nothing better to do. No offense, Barbara. Right? So we should look at this last year and say we've had hundreds of people at our meetings, right? If then we go into this very small, staff-only working group, what do we look like?
It's still going to be a zoning change ultimately. It's going to be, so what you're saying is a working group to make recommendations
To the
for
planning
zoning changes to the planning board.
And you go.
And then we have to go through the whole bylaw change process with planning board and select board to get it on a town meeting agenda, and
I understand, but please understand me. I'm looking for, where does the public get involved?
the public hearings for the bylaw changes. We have to hold,
Way down the road.
yep,
So we will do all this work and then present it as a,
presumably a working group is going to do the work and make the staff recommendations and the things that they're seeing.
Cross the Ts, dot the Is.
And, right, and then, and they're gonna give us language, and presumably, if that's what you're talking about with a true kind of staff working group, then it would come to us with proposed bylaw changes, then we go through the whole public hearing process. We can have public hearings while we're still deciding on the language, and then you have to go through the whole public hearing process where we've got to propose it,
okay.
publish it, do the
I
public
understand
hearing.
that's the
Which is
meet-
what we're looking at February 24th and March 10th already. So
Yes.
we're
on a very short
we
track.
got a very short runway for a lot of material that's been, and ZBA has discussed a lot of this. ZBA has gone through me to ask the town to implement an order of 5 items. So we've got a tally that I hope is going to be part of the nourishment of the thinking process of that group, working group.
So the idea is this is an accelerator, we catch up the public later, is that correct?
No, it's not. This is a working group that we wanted to start, and we wanted to start somewhere. And
You're not
because-
talking for town meeting right now,
No.
because you don't have time for it. There's no time for it, to get a lot of changes on town meeting floor by now.
For town meeting for 2026, my initiative was just to do a purpose and intent clause for the multifamily, and to prohibit short-term rentals on the
Yep.
multifamily, and to reduce the height in residential zones as part of a discussion, so, and also to revise the accessory
ADU,
dwelling
yeah.
unit bylaw.
You could
And so,
that at a
so, hold on, my
fall meeting.
intention for the working group also, prior to the public hearing process, and maybe not for this year, but definitely going forward, to have public information sessions and to have a community engagement sessions, so you are incorporating input from the public prior to holding the public hearings when, you really need to have all of the language ready to be recommended to town meeting floor.
So your time frame is 2027.
This, for 2026, my hope was to address those 3 items for 2026. But that will be at the discretion of the board, whether or not they want to make a recommendation. But for the working group, this was something that we wanted to at least get started. There's been support among town hall's department heads, and we thought this would be a good opportunity where have wrapped up some other large development projects for Pine Oaks Village 4, the 606 Route 28 project. We still have other projects coming, but I didn't want to delay not starting the working group.
So just to recap, this is a working group that would be kind of staff only.
No, we've asked.
Staff-driven.
Staff-driven, but with some representation, at least one, to provide at least one member of the regulatory boards to come in and provide their feedback as well, or provide input. So for Conservation, Board of Health, Zoning Board of Appeals, and the Planning Board.
And it is not, their meetings of this working group would not be subject to the open meeting law, is that correct?
Yes, that was my understanding. When I talked with with the town clerk, because it's a working group, it's not an official committee. And so therefore, it wasn't subject to the open meeting law, was my understanding.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
It seems like you're adding a layer of complication to a process that is under a pretty strict timeline. And in general, without getting any more specific than that, that usually makes it so that the deadline is a lot harder to get to. The previous planner, when we put in the first, I think we had two things that year. It was my first year. We did the ADU.
Solar panels.
And, yeah, the solar panels, which amounted to net 4 sentences of text. And he started right around this time and almost missed the deadline because of all of the things we had to do. It just seems to me if you add, I think, getting collaboration is great, and I think it's without knowing any more than what I've heard here tonight, I think it's a worthy thing. But I think if you're trying to make it happen this year, town meeting, just based on that experience, and everybody else, maybe not Annie, but the rest of you were here for that, and I remembered looking at how little in volume was produced, but how long it took. And to me, bringing more people, the bigger the committee, the slower the work. And if you were to bring more people in, it might be a better product, but if you're, under the gun for a deadline, you should really think twice about that, because you might not, what's more important, hitting the deadline and getting the work done that is expected, or increasing the size of the committee and potentially slowing it down.
So-
My 2 cents.
Marion?
So I guess I'll kind of piggyback on what Harry's saying. I think for the 2026 stuff, I don't know the working group is kind of, I don't think there's enough time for it. But I do think on on longer term stuff, if you're looking at kind of a real rewrite on something, then maybe yes. But for the ADU bylaw, we really should tie it up and make it match with the state statute and carve out our improvements to it. We really should, if you want to make sure that there's a purpose clause in the multifamily, then we should get that done sooner rather than later. Because again, nothing's going to
Change.
Well, it's not going to apply until the Attorney General's office approves it and gets posted anyway, so, we're talking,
I'm going to say this
we're talking August.
I'm talking also on behalf of ZBA, because they're following the org chart. They delivered to me their checklist in middle or late December. You were on vacation. First day of that we were back was January 5th. And their checklist of things to hit were like single word substitutions in like keyhole surgery.
Yeah.
And zoning stuff, like allowing people, not requiring a permit to finish a basement kind of thing, and impermeable surfaces, which is something they deal with all the time, and they have to do this kabuki theater around, limits of impermeable and permeable
Right.
surfaces.
It's whether landscaping counts or doesn't count.
Exactly, and so, and this is a burden on both the board members and the public. And I think these are things that have to be addressed, because they are literally single word substitutions, and they are, we've been talking about this since 2017,
And they
so-
want them on the warrant this year.
And they're eager to go get these, what they're calling, what Brian
No,
calls
they're-
low-hanging fruit.
I was going to say, they're more interested in getting the zoning working group started and to begin to work to address these issues more formally and to move forward. And for 2026 and for 2020, going forward to 2027.
Right.
I'm sorry, Duncan, I didn't mean to, there's an interest to starting the work group to begin to work on this more formally, or not informally, to allow time to at least be responsive to some of the issues that we
Right.
need to address.
All I'm
And-
saying is that informally,
Yep.
the work group began in August, October, and they presented a 1-inch thick document of all the redlining things that they wanted to do, and we ended up with a single side of 1 page with, single line items. That, for the board side and the committee side, that was a working group kind of offline to help them alleviate their stress. So this is a shortcut. I would highly recommend that staff look at what, people have to adjudicate on this, and the hours that go into that particular process far exceeds the lift of what we're doing. So I just want to make sure that that I represent their interests as I understand them from Brian and from Ken. So.
Yes, and Duncan, I'm sorry, I misspoke. There is a strong interest from the Zoning Board of Appeals to get certain zoning amendments recommended to the planning board even for 2026.
Right.
But again, that will be up to the planning board
Right.
to make that determination. But my goal for this working group was it'll go on for many years, and hopefully maybe at some point be more formal, like other towns have done, so.
Right.
Well, then, can we, I know we always say about getting to the May meeting. There's always a possibility, not that we've used it, to have a fall meeting,
Right.
right? If these things are so important.
Well, I think there's a matter of, we're going to have further discussions with, what the ZBA board wants to see done, and how can we, as the kind of the bottleneck here, can we accommodate them? I will talk to Brian and Ken tomorrow and see where we are, and
So it comes down to bylaw changes. If staff or others are making recommendations, the Board of Selectmen can refer it to us to look at changes, or we can
right,
do it ourselves.
Correct.
Still has to go through Select Board,
correct.
come back to us for public hearings.
Right.
But that's a whole process that's got to get started pretty quickly, because it's January.
Well, that was one of the things was, so, anyway, I don't think we're gonna solve this tonight. We're having, the work group is being launched. First meeting is on Wednesday,
Tomorrow. at 1.
tomorrow, and I think this is a very good, long overdue thing, process as a whole. Now, how this evolves and how, to your point, do we make it more kind of streamlined process for enacting changes for which there's pressure, we'll figure that out, but we've got a very short time period here. So please continue.
Thank you. And if we could, if someone does want to volunteer to represent the planning board, that would be great as well. Just to,
Are these meetings in the day?
they're during the day, yes.
Yeah.
So.
Not a
for-
chance.
I'm sorry.
If you're stuck, I'll volunteer.
Well, I
think you've
have
had
Annie.
Oh,
has
I didn't
asked-
hear, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
withdraw
Annie
my,
mentioned Duncan and
So moved.
Ian have expressed interest. Emily, at one point, I think, also expressed some interest in wanting.
I would love to be involved. I can't do during
Day
the day.
meetings.
Okay.
Same.
I have a job,
Me too.
a real one. Not that anybody else does.
No, I read the peanut butter.
Not retired yet, so.
So if Duncan or
I'm happy
Ian or
to,
Annie,
if you
I
want to be
defer to-
alternate.
I
or
defend-
you can alternate, I'll join and we can tag team as
Sure.
we can make it
Can't be there
happen.
tomorrow,
Okay.
but you can fill me in.
Okay,
Okay.
let's do that.
And then just in the future, these tight timeframes are killers.
understood.
From having been on all of these agendas and then the meeting's Wednesday, it was a little bit shocking. Okay? Thank you.
So for the local comprehensive permit, local comprehensive plan, I'm in chapter 40B land. We have, we did get a fair amount of support from the select board. We have a final draft posted on the website, and the local planning committee is making efforts to gear up and prepare for town meeting in 2026. Hopefully to have support and approval from town meeting, but the planning board legally is still required to hold a public hearing.
Yep.
So I would like, with your permission, to carve out specific dates for those action items. And so I had selected February 24th or March 10th to hold a public hearing.
Is it going to be an article?
It will be, and I did put a placeholder as an article, and I am waiting to hear back from town council. She didn't feel that the whole plan needs to be part of, as a warrant article. They can do an addendum to support and allow the town to vote in approval for the local comprehensive plan.
That's just the question about how late it is till it has to, when do we close the articles?
It's up to the select board.
That's February 2nd.
Or is
Is
the client, right?
I'm sorry?
The select board is the client, right?
The select board was the client, but the planning board still has to hold a public hearing
Right.
to approve the comprehensive permit.
So if they're in good shape, and by the way, I went back and have looked at it, and the last iteration shows significant improvements. I'm kind of, delighted in the language and the design and layout and so I would think that it would be nice to have a stagger the local comprehensive plan for the 24th and this DCPC guideline maybe for March 10th.
Okay.
We don't, we can be a little more flexible with what other hearings we have, just as a
And
provisional recommendation.
since we agreed tonight to a January 27th meeting,
Right.
what else do we have on that one? I mean, it's like, do we push it off or can we pull it out?
There are several items on January 27th. It's pretty full right
Right.
now.
It's already gotten full?
It's very full right now. We have a site plan review waiver, we have a covenant release, we have
Okay, so we can't
two
put it there.
continued public hearings.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, just wanted to ask.
Yep. And so for, 2026 annual town meeting zoning amendments, if we do schedule the 24th or the 10th, I just at least wanted to put it out to
Right.
the board.
Make it. We'll make it.
Because when we do schedule these public hearings, they have to be legally advertised
Yeah.
14 days in advance. And I just want to make sure that we have all of this information well in advance and these dates are blocked out so that no one else, so that other projects will have to be deferred to another time.
I would just argue as a planning heuristic or scheduling heuristic that we take the DCPC design guidelines, and it's been 6 years, that can bump down another month or two.
Okay,
Let's just let that go down. I mean, if that goes down to April, I'm fine. We're not gonna, let's put that in April just as a placeholder.
Okay.
Is that okay?
sure.
Great.
Thank you. And I that will also allow me time to follow up with the Cape Cod Commission and hopefully have them
Great.
come in and do a presentation as well.
Would you want that, the zoning amendment for March 10th?
That would be great. Yes.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that good for you? All right, let's do that.
March 10, yeah, we'll do that for now, and if we need to change anything, I will ask the board well in advance.
Okay.
And so the ZBA is now currently evaluating the comprehensive permit for Penrose 456 Queen Anne Road, and they've asked again for public department and board comments. So I will be drafting notes for the planning board's consideration, just as we did with Pine Oaks Village 4. I will not be at the meeting on February 26th, but I will be sure to submit, have a letter submitted prior to that.
So you need our input before that, correct?
Correct. So I'm going to draft a letter, and I will send it out to everyone, as I did with Pine Oaks, and ask board members to provide input, and then have a vote of the board to endorse the letter for the chair to sign it and submit it to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
So then that has to be on the 24th. That's got to get agended for the 24th then. So
No,
the-
it will be,
No, that can be on the next, that can be on the 27th or the February 10th.
right.
Yeah.
It can be February 10th. So
I'm
you-
saying it has to be no later than February 24th, if they want it by the 26th.
Yes,
Okay,
and I can't remember, yeah.
you want it earlier than that?
I would like it earlier. It has
Okay,
to be
that's
at a
fine.
planning, I'll schedule it at a planning board meeting and provide the letter a draft letter prior to the meeting so that board members can vote on
And
it.
it's the same limited scope as we had in.
As on Pine Oak.
Correct.
And can you send us a link to where the most recent stuff is for Penrose? Is it at zoning or where
It's
is
at
it?
zoning, under their comprehensive permits, and
Okay.
under 456 Queen Anne Road.
So we can't say a lot, but we gotta read all this stuff, basically.
I'm sorry?
We can't say a lot about it. We're constrained by, our comments are constrained on this one too, just as they were with
Right.
Pine Oaks Village.
Limited scope.
Limited scope.
Will we get guidelines about that, what the limits are?
Yes, the comments will be limited to the planning board's purview of site plan review for traffic pedestrian safety, site plan, any impacts to abutters or neighbors, and stormwater and traffic.
Site plan review, safety, abutters, traffic.
Stormwater,
And we
any
can't say any-
civil engineering. Just the same items that we review.
Stuff that we don't really deal with, that's, we stay in our lane.
The items that we
Yeah,
normally
and-
deal with.
But stormwater is always the one that, well, that's the select board.
But we deal with it as part of site plan
do.
review.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Okay, thank you. So you want our comments,
I will submit a letter, I'll draft a letter to everyone for your review, and if you have comments or additional input, you can let me, I'm basically your ghostwriter.
the date, can you give us a
I-
date?
I can't right now. I'll give you a date. Probably by the our next meeting, I will have a draft letter for your review.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
And the Cape Cod Commission last week held a public meeting for their Witchmere redevelopment project subcommittee meeting, and I had submitted comments relative to the local comprehensive plan back in December, and because we have a final draft local comprehensive plan and the 2011 comprehensive plan, both of which were never certified by the Cape Cod Commission, I have to go back and submit comments on our 2000 local comprehensive plan relative to project consistency.
2000?
Correct. So I will be sending another letter.
25-year-old document?
Correct, yes. Yes.
have
I
a
just
copy
gotta
of it
add that
on-
again.
I have a copy of it on Dropbox if anybody wants it.
So I have to rewrite my report to them, and I will be sending that by the end of this week.
Presumably you have to do that in order for them to even look at the new one. Yes, that's what I thought.
Correct.
And that's
Yep.
because we didn't certify the other ones in between?
The 2011 comprehensive permit, for some reason, was never certified by
Was
the
the
Cape Cod
last.
Commission, and because our 2025 LCP is in a draft form, which will be, the intention is that it will be approved at town meeting, and it will be approved at the Cape Cod Commission. The Cape Cod Commission, and their enabling legislation, it's a technical thing, it's a technical item that they need to have,
They don't think
comment,
of it as
they need
fact.
to have comments from the town relative to a certified local comprehensive plan.
They
So you
don't
have to make
consider it
comments based
real.
on the 2011.
Not certified.
Everything can come back and bite you, can't it? Okay, thank you.
Okay. So it's 2011, and then what was the earlier one,
2000.
2000.
2000?
And that was drafted by Don Howell. I think that was a one-man band, as I recall. One other thing, did I receive from you the annual report of the board to the select board?
Yes.
Looked great.
Oh, okay.
So I need to respond to that officially, but it looked fantastic.
Oh,
Much
good.
more comprehensive than anything we've done in years past, so thank you for all your work on that.
Oh,
Appreciate
you're
it.
very welcome.
How many cases, what we did, all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
exactly. Good overview. Great overview of the year. So do we have any other business for other than general correspondence? Did we receive anything that we didn't go through?
We did, and I can't recall And so I will provide an update. We are, in terms of general and public correspondence, we do have, we are keeping track of anything that does come in, and we do try to post any letters of public correspondence that we receive so that board members have that readily available.
We usually see it if it's attached to a project
Correct.
or a case.
But sometimes we get letters from the Cape Cod Commission or other, like Friends of Pleasant Bay, periodically that I do want to just at least make sure that the board is aware.
Great, thank you. Mrs. Nickerson, did you wish to address the board?
Can I just say a couple things?
Please.
First off, I think you need to clone yourself.
Yeah, right.
So I'm still a little confused, but I'm not going to muddy the water anymore as far as the zoning work group versus what Mary was saying, as far as that's a whole bigger project versus what you said back in December and everything. And I'm hopeful that you will not, if this zoning work group, that you got things to do soon for the warrant, for the town meeting and everything. After that, I certainly hope that it's opened up to include members of the public, because if nothing else, this past year with the projects that were in 25 and those coming in 26, you have a lot of public outcries, what's going on, and I think part of the problem in years past is that things around here have been done in a vacuum, and I think those days should be numbered personally, but I'm not in charge. But I think our local comprehensive plan committee, our committee, has worked wonders getting out to the public, and you know, you are our main contact. We work for all of you and everything, but I think it shows you what you can get when you invite other people from outside of town hall into the process. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else before the board this evening? I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a
You can give it
second.
to Alan, as far as I'm
All in
concerned.
favor?
Give it to him.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.